My drone fell from the sky. So welcome back guys. If you've been following along by now, you would know that a couple of weeks ago whilst filming a video, my drone decided that it would fail and fall from the sky, dropping into the valley never to be found again. So today I'm going to explain to you guys what actually happened in a little more detail, because I feel like I only briefly explained it in the actual video itself, and hell, I was pretty gutted, so I didn't have any time to absorb what actually happened. So for those of you guys who may not know what happened, I will cover the whole story in just a minute. So while up in the Watagan Mountains filming a video with Mick from Mick's 4-Wheel-Drive Touring over Heaton's Lookout, which is one of Mick's favourite spots, not hard to see why, it was really awesome up there, my drone decided that it would drop. So we pulled up and everything was normal. I just set the drone up the same way I'd been doing it for the last like 6-7 months that I've had it. The drone was a DJI Phantom 3, so it wasn't a cheap brand or a knockoff. It was a top-of-the-line drone, and I had had absolutely no issues with the drone prior to this flight, which makes this even more weird. So upon setting the drone up and getting it ready to fly, there was an error that kept coming up saying that the battery temperature was too cold to take off. So I thought, no dramas, I'll take all the batteries out, leave them in the sun for a few minutes to warm up. It was a little cold the previous night, but I had had that drone in colder conditions before, and it had never had an issue like this or anything similar. So after about 5 minutes or so, I put the battery back into the drone. They were all freshly charged batteries, and it seemed all good. The warning was gone and the battery seemed to be fine. I took off and I was adjusting the camera to get the right angle for my shot, lined the drone up and then accelerated out over the lookout like I normally would when I fly. About not even 5 seconds into the flight, the drone is literally only 10 or so meters away from me, but it's out over the lookout. So it's got over the edge, it stops accelerating and goes into a hover. Now I didn't initiate this hover or anything like that, it just stopped. My thumb was still flat on the accelerator as if I was telling it to keep going. Anyway, what happened next is the weird bit. So the drone has stopped unexpectedly, and a few seconds after it stopped, I get a low voltage warning pop up on my screen. Normally when this happens or I get any kind of warning, I'll bring the drone straight back down, swap out the battery, restart it, let it sit for a minute. Before I even had time to react, all 4 of the blades in the drone go flying off, all into different directions. The drone shuts off on the screen, it goes black, and it falls 400 odd meters down into the valley below Heaton's Lookout. So, as tragic as it was, and believe me, I'm still pretty gutted because you guys know how much I love the drone shots. I think they just add so much to each video, having that bird's eye perspective. It's really weird. So for those of you guys who don't know how the DJI Phantom drones work, the blades are screwed on. You screw them on one way, and the only way they would be able to come off at all, especially mid-flight, is if they were turned the opposite way with force, and I mean quite a lot of force. Sometimes I struggle to get them off post-flight. I feel as though the issue with the drone was electrical. Something happened which caused the entire thing to seize up and then make the rotors spin backwards, kind of like a short circuit, which then caused them to come off, and obviously the drone isn't going to fly without propellers. And the main thing leading me to believe it's something like this that happened, and it's not just the propellers weren't screwed on properly, is the drone would have never taken off if the propellers weren't screwed on properly. I've sometimes accidentally not screwed them in enough, and the drone just does not take off. They fly off as soon as you put the slightest bit of acceleration in. This drone was fully airborne and functioning for around 2 minutes before everything happened. Second thing leading me to this is that the screen went completely black. I was unable to see the camera while the drone was falling, which means the drone was off or fried, because usually the camera would stream straight to my phone. That's how these drones are operated. The final thing is that the battery warning and that I was having pre-takeoff. I suspected the low voltage was due to the temperature issues that I was having with the batteries. Like I said, I had let them warm up a little bit to the point where the drone was happy to take off. But with the wind, it would have gotten cold real fast. Of course, I would never keep flying, like I said, with a low voltage warning. I would always bring the drone back if a warning ever popped up, which it very rarely ever did. The only issues I ever had were strong interference issues, not so much voltage issues, but the point is still there. I would always bring it back and land if there was an issue. Unfortunately, this time I was unable to even react. It all happened in split seconds. As soon as the warning popped up, within 2 seconds, I'm not even exaggerating, the drone was falling. I looked at the warning, looked up, and it just unfolded in front of me. Even Mick seen it happen, it looked like it just exploded. The saddest part about this is that there's no possible way we could have gotten down to the point where it fell. And even if we did, to have fallen from the height in which it did, it probably would have shattered into a million pieces. So guys, that is what happened to the drone. You guys can go and check that out on the Watagan's adventure trip that it happened on. The video is on the channel. I guess the most unfortunate thing about this is that now I believe the quality of the videos will suffer because I have no drone. You guys know how much I love the drone shots. There's no way to get those awesome shots, but I'm sure in due time I'll figure something out and get one back. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, remember the usual, hit the like button and subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always, we will see you in the next adventure.